Hey Cubs, welcome back to the channel. So in the last couple of videos I've mentioned pyrography, and it just made me realise that I've not actually touched my kit in a long time and thought it was about time I pulled it out. Well, I'll tell you what it is. So pyrography is wood burning, and you can do some amazing art like this, which I wish I could do it like this, but you know, skills are what they are. I've only done it like 3 or 4 times, maybe a bit more. Mine look more like this, and yeah, I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to do it again, so let's get going. Initially, when I started this project, I was just gonna grab one of these random bits of wood that I have and just go straight into it, but I decided that because it's been so long since I last did pyrography, I'd do a test piece, and these little I'm not really sure how they're described, it's just like wooden tags. I have actually done a fair few of these in the past. One year for Christmas I did one for every member of the family, so there's probably a dozen or more, but I kind of did them all at once, so when I say I've only done pyrography 3 or 4 times, it's fairly accurate. And I decided that for this I'd do some fan art, and it's just something I've been wanting to do for a few videos, just trying to decide what to do, who to draw, and in what style, you know, what medium to use and all the rest of it. And I settled on Dragonite. I wouldn't say he's my favourite Pokemon, that would be Arcanine, but Dragonite is one I always used when I played Pokemon Stadium. Yes, I am that old. You know, he was just always on my team for that, but generally speaking I don't actually use him on my teams in anything else, but I really like his design. He's quite cute, sort of definition of chibi really if you think about it, but yeah, I do like him as a Pokemon, so that was my reasoning behind choosing him. And yeah, I decided I'd paint him as well, because when I did the older ones that I did for family members, I think I used Sharpies in the end, which actually worked surprisingly well. There was only a little bit of bleeding on some of them, but yeah, I just decided it would be nice to give him some colour, make it more obvious that it's Dragonite, not just some random dragon, because I am a bit rusty drawing Pokemon in general. As I remember when Pokemon first came out, I had a sketchbook where I'd drawn all 151 Pokemon. Some were okay, some weren't so good. But yeah, it's something I want to do a bit more. I'm planning on drawing all my teams at some point, but that's a bit of a mission, so we'll see how that goes. So for the main piece, I decided I wanted to use 3 of my characters. I've been designing a few in the evenings in my sketchbook, more for practice than anything, but I do love character design, as I've mentioned before. And these 3 in particular, I decided to do some Australian animals. We've got wombat, koala and Tasmanian devil, and it occurred to me whilst I was designing these guys that actually there's been quite a lot of Australian influence in my childhood, sort of whilst growing up, starting with the Australian artist and kids TV presenter that we no longer talk about. If you're a 90s kid, you know who I mean. Then you had Blinky Bill, who I have named the wombat after the wombat in that. Then there was Rescuers Down Under, and of course Steve Irwin. What else? There's just been so much stuff. Bondi Rescue, Bondi Vet, all sorts of stuff like that, and it just seemed like a nice idea to do some Australian animals for that reason. So yeah, Wombo is my wombat. As I said, named after the Blinky Bill wombat. Just seemed appropriate, really. And the koala is named Bondi, after the beach, because like I said, there's a couple of series that we used to watch set there. In particular, I loved Bondi Rescue so much. Yeah, it was a lot of fun and interesting to see what went on there. And then the Tasmanian Devil is called Zane, because Taz was my favourite Looney Tunes character, even though he looks nothing like a Tasmanian Devil. But there we go. And onto the pyrography itself, I actually got this tool from Lidl, believe it or not. Any of you who have a Lidl near you, you know in the middle of Lidl they often have these random art supplies. And I just thought, I think it was like £8. And just for a tester and for something that I probably wasn't going to get into, really get into, it seemed like a good idea. And I really do enjoy using it. It can be frustrating because obviously you've got to wait for the pen to cool down before you can change the tips out. I did get a slight burn when I hadn't left it quite long enough, because the longer you use it, the hotter it does get, but at the same time it does cool off a bit in between. And the grip does get quite hot. I don't know if that's just because it's cheap or if it's because that happens anyway. Fairly sure when Jazza did it, he wore gloves of some description, but then he would have had a way more professional setup than what I've got. But yeah, the other thing I really enjoy about this is the smell of burning wood. We used to go to big bonfire gatherings when we were kids, and we've had log burning fires in the past, and that's actually where most of this scrap wood's come from. It's when my parents had a place that had a log burner, and I think it was some of the kindling Dad got had these really nice bits of wood in that were just too good to burn, so he gave them to me to use for this. But yeah, I have this specific way of drawing fur. I don't do it all the time. I do it for the pyrography, and I've done it in a few pen drawings. Again, something I've not done for a while, and I might do that again at some point. I just find it really fun and relaxing. My biggest one I did took about 8 hours. That was a pen one. But you can just stick the TV on, stick YouTube on, anything like that, and just mindlessly do it. And yeah, it's really relaxing. But I'm going to stop talking now and just let you guys enjoy the rest of this.
some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh.
So for the warm-up piece, I decided to do Dragonite. It's actually the first time I've done fan art on the channel, and I just thought it was about time I did, because I do it sometimes, not very often. My first attempt, this has got my signature on it, because with these I always sign the back. It didn't go so well, partly because it's, like I say, it's been a while since I've done the pyrography itself. It's also been a while since I've drawn Dragonite. And then I redid him and painted him with acrylics. I actually really like how that looks. Only took 2 coats of the orange. With the wings, I could have made them look a bit neater, but I didn't really want to mix the colours because the green was quite dark. And yeah, I just, also only needing such a small amount, I didn't want to waste a load of paint, because I'm not sure it's a colour I'd use again. And then for the main piece, I love how this came out. I really do. So, got our 3 little Aussie friends. Got Wombo, Zane, and Bondi. And just a little mountain in the background. Different grass textures. Rock for, I don't know why I put Bondi on a rock, because he should be in a tree, but you know, I really didn't want to draw a tree. I'm trying to get them all to fit on the same piece as well. It wouldn't really have worked the way I'd done it, but yeah, really happy with that, considering it's been so long since I've done it. So that's it for this one, Cubs, and I will see you in the next one.